Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while, but I wanted to just upload another video. I am so excited for this video because I wanted to talk about ocean life and pteropods. So this video is going to be about pteropods. If you don't know what a pteropod is, this is the video for you. I'm going to describe what it is. I'm going to, talk about why are these creatures important, how does this play a role with climate change, and why I really, find these creatures really fascinating. But before we get started, if you're new to this channel is basically a channel for me to just talk about cool things that I find interesting, ideas that I have to share my perspective. I find that recording myself and uploading some on this channel is a really cool thing to do. So I wanted to just share about this topic that I wrote down that I've been meaning to just talk about this and why it's important. If you also want to follow me on my social medias, I only have one media, which is Twitter. You can find the link below or also in my profile tab. Let's get started. So a pteropod. I'm gonna just upload a picture right here of a pteropod. Isn't it the coolest thing you've ever seen? Like, it's crazy how we live in this world, and it's crazy I live in this world, and there's creatures that I haven't seen with, obviously my naked eye, but also in the internet. Like, these creatures actually exist. Like, all of these creatures really exist. And I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about how they're really important, with climate change, and ocean's role, and things like that. But I mean, they just look really cool. So, to begin, all the references that I'm using to explain what a pteropod is and all the information basically that I'm going to be talking about in this video, I will have all the links below. I like references, and when I watch videos, I want to make sure that these facts and informations are true, and I hope that you do too, so you know that these, like, any information that you receive are true. But I'm gonna read it verbatim from the website so it can be clear to whoever's watching this. And then I'll also post websites that are helpful in informing you about what a pteropod is. The ocean plays a major role in regulating the climate and supporting life on our planet. The open ocean is the largest habitat on Earth. Microscopic algae produce half of the world's oxygen, and the ocean has already absorbed more than 90% of excess heat and 30% of excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere since global industrialization. However, this is not without consequences. In the past, changes in ocean processes were responsible for fluctuation in atmospheric carbon dioxide. Now, for the first time in a million of years, the role of ocean and atmosphere has been reversed. Today, it is the atmosphere that controls ocean chemistry, leading to an increasingly acidified ocean. It is still an open question whether marine organisms, particularly those that calcify, have the evolutionary resilience to adapt fast enough to these changes. And these marine organisms that we're talking about are pteropods. So now I'm gonna define what a pteropod is. I'm gonna also I'm also gonna post certain different species, different types of pteropods, so you can see how cool they are and the different types while I explain to you guys what it is. So, sea butterflies, that's a different name for a pteropod. This is because of how they look. Sea butterflies, pteropods, are one of the most amazing groups of planktonic creatures. Pteropods include two completely different taxonomic taxonomic groups of free-swimming animals. Sea butterflies with hard shells, which are Thegosomata, and sea angels without shells are called Gymnosomata. Both of them share one distinctive feature: they swim using two large fins or wings, which evolved from the crawling foot of an ancient snail. In fact, when the sea angel is a larva, it has a shell, but it is discarded as the creature develops. Although pteropods are not the most numerous group of animals, their appearance is mesmerizing in its diversity. Their fine translucent shells look like a delicate glass artifacts which encase their pearly iridescent bodies covered in peculiar growths. They have unusual bright colors and are often absolutely tiny. These are but a few characteristics that you can discover while studying pteropods. It is practically impossible to choose a typical representative of this group since each species has a special distinguishing feature. Pteropods live in all seas of the world ocean, but they are most abundant in but they are most abundant in the Arctic and Antarctic. But they are most abundant in the Arctic and Antarctic seas. But they are most abundant in the Arctic and Antarctic seas, where they form huge swarms with the biomass surpassing that of the rest of the zooplanktonic combined. These masses attract whales, which feed exclusively on pteropods in certain seasons, etc. So that was a paragraph, but I hope that we now understand, or better understand, what a pteropod is, or a pteropoda. We know that sea butterflies with hard shells are called Thegosomata, and sea angels without shells are called Gymnosomata. Sounds Japanese. But aren't these pictures so cool? I find this really cool. I'm watching all these pictures from coldwaterscience.com or .org. I'll upload the website below. But I find these creatures really cool to see with all the colors, and they kind of look scary almost. It kind of reminds me of that movie called Life, I think. And it was like an experiment, but they kind of look like that, and how it grew to like a whole squid or something like that. And I'm terrified of squids. I'm not terrified of squid. I find them fascinating. Let's talk about some quick facts. So the name for these creatures are called pteropod. Scientific name: two clades or natural groups, Thegosomata and Gymnosomata. Other names are sea butterflies for the Thegosomata and sea angels, Gymnosomata, or sea snails. Their sizes is less than 1 centimeter, half an inch. The first discovery of a pteropod was in 1804 by George Cuvier. I hope I'm saying his name right. But what eats what? What does a pteropod eat? They eat plankton, zooplankton, such as dinoflagellates, diatoms, foraminifera. Some deep-dwelling species eat other pteropods and copepods. So they eat each other, or other species similar to them. How do they eat? It says that they spread out a mucus net to catch small plankton and particles, then it swallows through a slit-like mouth between its gastropod, foot, or wings. And if you Google this and watch a video, there's a video out there that you can see the pteropods and how they eat, and it's the most craziest thing ever. But pteropods are eaten by whales, cod, or other fish. Now I want to talk about how we can really understand how carbon dioxide is, increasing because of man-made industrious companies, and how pteropods can help us understand how the rate of carbon dioxide is increasing and really affecting climate change in a negative way. Some of the world's most delicate marine creatures have already faced a major period of rapidly increasing temperatures. A new study has found sea angels and sea butterflies are tiny marine slugs and snails. They have both survived dramatic global climate change before, and they also faced down Earth's most recent mass extinction event 66 million years ago. Sea butterflies and sea angels make up a group of organisms called pteropods, a type of plankton that sometimes creates a calcareous shell around their soft bodies. They can tell us a lot about the effects of climate change on the world's oceans because they are very sensitive to carbon dioxide levels. A vital part of why I'm talking about pteropods, or why this video focuses on pteropods, is because I love the ocean, right? Who doesn't? I mean, yeah, there's some people out there who are afraid of the ocean, but I really want to talk about this topic of climate change because it really is important to me that we take care of the planet that we live on, and that we don't litter, that we don't throw out trash on the floor or in the ocean. These things matter, you know. Everyone has a part to play, and these creatures are a sign of how we can understand climate change. Pteropods are marine gastropods that spend their entire life in the open water column. They have thin shells and a wing-like snail foot that allows them to fly through the water. Sea butterflies live in their billions all over the world, eating microscopic algae. They are near the bottom of the oceanic food web, which means they are eaten by many other animals, including shrimp, fish, and whales. They are small but mighty when it comes to fighting climate change. A third of the carbon dioxide produced by humans is taken up the oceans and locked down in the carbonate skeletons of marine organisms. Globally, up to 40% of that calcium carbonate is deposited in the shells of pteropods. Upon their deaths, pteropods quickly sink to the ocean floor and are buried in deep seafloor sediments, taking the carbon with them. Shelled pteropods can tell us a lot about the effects of climate change because their shells are very thin and they start to dissolve in acidic seawater. They are already suffering in some parts of the world, and they will be seriously threatened if carbon dioxide levels continue to rise. If you don't really know what carbon dioxide does to the world, it does to the earth, you can Google how does carbon dioxide increase Earth's temperature and things like that, so you can get more information on the causes or consequences of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. This means that it causes an effect like the glass in a greenhouse, trapping heat and warming up the inside. This effect is important. Without CO2 that naturally exists in the atmosphere, Earth might be too cold to support human life. Now that is something that we have to pay attention to, because if you want to live, However, the atmosphere is very sensitive to changing levels of CO2. Even though this gas makes up less than 0.1% of the atmosphere, it can have a huge effect on how much heat the planet's surface retains. So all these, facts, all of these information that I talked about in this video are important. Climate change is important, and pteropods are important. They are the coolest creatures that I've just figured that I didn't even know existed, and I think I will do more research on them and try to protect them and find ways that I myself can really be a part of really helping the earth and really taking care of the earth by the things that I buy, the supermarkets, plastic, reducing any waste that I use. So I hope that we all learn the importance of really valuing life itself, and whether you're as small as a pteropod or you're as big as a whale, I think these creatures are here on this planet for a reason, and every day I learn something new. Every day that I, notice these creatures and how beautiful they look, it just really pushes me to a point where I ask myself, okay, it kind of wakes me up from my reality almost. It kind of, are like, it's amazing, these creatures that are living in the ocean. It's amazing. Like, sometimes I think I hear people say, oh my god, there's aliens out there. Like, are there aliens out there? Like, look at the earth, the ocean. There's these creatures literally look like aliens, and they're on earth. So can you imagine the other creatures that we haven't seen? So that explains so much that we haven't. That explains so much of human life, of just mankind. I think it's amazing. So I'm happy I shared this on this YouTube channel. I find pteropods really fascinating, really cool. I'm gonna put links of websites that really, there's cool photography of pteropods and species like them. There are marine biologists who study pteropods for a living, and they take amazing pictures. So I hope that we've all learned something new today, and that we, start taking climate change seriously. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great day.